Hello, traders. So here I am. This is part of the London session. I came in late, but you can see what's going on here. Just want to explain this. I have a 1 minute chart right here. Uh, I don't have my ticker going on. I should be. See some sellers coming in here, I'm sure. Probably bounce off here. Let's see. So I'm in this trade. I joined up here. What that right here? Break of the structure. Basically pulling back. We're creating higher highs for the day. Okay. That's what it's doing. That's why it's going up and down. But my ultimate target is up here, right? Right there. That's basically the extension. The fib extension, this is like the third wave of the fib extension. And here's my Renko chart. So you can see where the trend is. Really clean as compared to the 1 minute chart. So on the time-based chart, you want to make sure where the bar closes, right? It's closing above, like here we broke this. You see where the closure is, came back, pulled back, but it's still, you can see that it's closing still. What is this, gold, I think, right? You see where it's closing. It's up closing above there. That's a 10 EMA, as well as the 21 EMA. But if it's closing above the 10 EMA, it's really, what is it doing? It's really following the trend going up. Strong momentum, just getting above this 10 EMA. You see where it's closing, right? Even though it pierces, that's fine, as long as it closes above. That's the most important thing. So now I'm looking at this one. You see where it's closing. Oops, right there. See, they're closing above the 10 EMA, as well as the 21 EMA. That's why it's very, I got to put the 10 EMA on here. Let me do that later. But you can see, hopefully we hit our target here. I started off with 3 contracts, right? And I scaled in for another 3 and another 3. So I'm at 9 contracts. Uh, Trading a 50K PA. I didn't really start at the opening. I came in late. I was running errands, but there was a good move here, right here. See this move right here? That's already at the right there. That's a London Open. That's a good move. It's been several weeks that we had a good move like that. Usually it's pretty dead, so that's why I don't really. And I wasn't here to really trade the opening, so that would have been a really good trade. You'd have been done trading your PA, and that would have hit your daily profit target. Again, this is a 50K. With me, I'm okay with between 500 per per trade, or should I say per day on the 50 K PA. We're running out of steam here. You can tell. You can see we can get a push up here. So surprised this camera is working. I got a new. I built a new. I had a customized build up on my PC. I'll be installing that later today. Hopefully, I'll be using it later for the New York Open. So here we are. So at 176. Hopefully, we can get it on 300 on here, and then trade the New York morning session. Let's see what it does here. This black line right here. This is the 1 point plus 1.5 deviation. Let's see if it goes through. Then it probably hit between the 1.5 and the fib extension of the 161.8. That's where my target is. But let's see what happens here exactly at plus 1.5 deviation. So as long as we keep on closing above those, basically higher days, we're creating daily, high of the day. So you see, we keep on breaking it higher and higher. So we continue doing that. especially when you have a momentum bar like this. You can see it's bigger than the other bars. So that means that's stronger momentum. So here we go. You see where we closed this? We closed above that previous bar. So that's good. As long as we're closing above each of these bars above, that's going to continue to push up. So I like using the time based on 1 minute as well as the 6416 because you can see actually, the move. You can see at least the momentum. It's all green. Hoping I can get close to maybe 300. I'll be happy with that. I just have to do 200 during the New York Open. Let's see what happens. Not New York Open, New York morning. I don't trade the opening. I might try to do an IB strategy based on the Globex session. Let me see if I can do that. Set that up for an IB. Do a separate one for the Globex session and another one for the New York session. So we're actually pretty close here. You can see that on the wrinkles. You see that? Look at that. We're just so close. You just give another push up. You can see we're still finishing above each of the opening of the bars of the candles here. So there, it's trying to push up. As long as it's opening and closing above each of these the closing of the previous candle, that's good. I mean, those are tips for the beginners. That's how you read time-based bars or charts. But so long as you keep them finishing above the previous candle, that that the trend continues either up or down. There we go.
Target
97,
filled.
close to 300, like I said. I could have pushed it up to 300, but I'll take that. Again, I started off with 2 micros. I ended up with 9 micros by scaling in. Hit the extension, the fib extension here. This is the third wave of the fib extension. And I'll show you what I mean. I mean, this third wave is basically starting all the way down here. All the way, where was that? Down here. You can see coming off right there, right here, right here. That's where I based the beginning of this reversal. We had a big move to the downside, you can see. And now if you look at this, remember I was mentioned, how do we know when we have volatility in let's say the London session. The London session started around what, around 4, right? Right here. So at this time, you want to see, I mean, this is way over. So I want to see where the -2 deviation is, for example, right here. I'm looking at this. Well, we can measure it let's do this, on the wrinkles. It takes a lot less room. See, this is going up, still going up. You see, we're still finishing above each of the bars. Now, this one didn't. So that's why you can see when it's beginning to weaken. Now, what's this other previous one? I don't know what this is. This is a prior one before. I don't know where that came from. It must have been yesterday's. But this is where it hit that, right at the 1.5 plus 1.5 deviation. You can see now. But, we're still finishing above the 10 EMA, right? See, it's closing above the 10 EMA. So still momentum going up. So now here, I'm going to show you on this one. So this is the Ninja Renko. You see how clean it is? I don't have the VWAP one here as well. So it's making nice and clean. This is basically the basic strategy. This is it. Except they don't have the fair value gaps here. It's hard to explain the fair value gaps for the beginners. But this is basically what it is. I just happen to have these numbers here as part of another software that I'm using called Mbox Wave. It shows you all the blocks, selling blocks and the buying blocks. That's what it does. So, anyways, if you're just using this without the Mbox Wave, you're just using the MACD and the indicator I have, you're basically the Keltner channel, right? And this right here, this one right here. So this one here is basically what we use. That's your trend, right? Trend indicator. As long as you're above that, you keep on trading all the pullbacks and going back up, you're above here, especially the pullbacks into the mid band or the 55 EMA. You can see that's golden. It's continuing going up. Again, I'm trading micros. 297 ain't bad for. I'll be trading more if it was a bigger account, but right now I'm 50K. And these are, 50K is actually pretty good. I like 50K. I also trade the 150K, but for beginners, I would recommend the 50K, just right for you guys. So anyways, you can see how this is nice and clean. Um, and that's how I got the third wave. So you can see how this move is. Now, here's my question. So what I want to see here, what was at the time of the London market? Let me see if I can find here this time based on this one right here. I'd rather use this one. Okay, so this is the Renkos with this is the Renkos with uh, the VWAP and everything. So what I want to see here is basically what is the width from, let's say here, 4 o'clock. Let's say right around here, right? Right there. Okay. At this point, what is the width from the -2 to the +2, right? The -2 deviation, that's what I'm talking about. So we would measure that from here, right? This is the -2 deviation, and all the way up here. We need to get at least 300. Oops, wrong one. At least 300. And look where you are, 337. That's at least 50%. 50% of what? The average daily range, a 7-day average true range, I think, right? ATR. And where do I get that? I'm based on this. So we got it on 339, right? So what am I looking at in terms of what I'm talking about? This is what I'm talking about. Um, so right here, I'm in Q. What is the 7-day ATR? 539. You take 50% of that, right? What is 50% of that? You guys there should know. At least 539. I'll just run it off. Run what, 250, at least a little over 250. And remember, I showed you what the measure, it's over 300. So that's more than 50% of your 7-day, meaning that's adequate enough for the volatility in the market. If it's less than 50%, I don't know, probably range most of the time. That's how I base it on. So today, the Globex session was actually good to trade, and I think some people were green trading that. I was able to get close to 300. I'll be happy with that. Let me see where this is now. So again, like this is a nice clean chart with the Renko chart, right? I'm using not just the ordinary Renko. This is a Ninja Renko. Okay, there's a lot of good Renkos there. The old Renko is good as well, but this is the only one I know that's actually really free. Old Renko can be free, but I've tried the ones where sometimes it would lock up. I don't know why, and maybe it's either my computer, but I got it adequate enough. So here, you see this? We're getting fib according to my software. These are algo signals, meaning we get a uh, pullback, and those are actually good signals to trade. Like here, when you have the pullback right there, there's a signal again. There's a three stooges again. These are adequate enough signals right here. Pullback, those are good signals to trade. You trade that, you see your stop is here, continue going up, going with this trend right here. So it's actually pretty cool. So there, this is going to continue going up. I don't want to be chasing this. I want to see a pullback, and I don't think I'm going to wait. It's around 5 o'clock. where it's going to be close to the dead zone. So anyways, 300 trading, starting off with two or three micro contracts on M and Q. I'm happy with that, trading a 50K PA on Apex. See you during the morning session, New York morning session, starting off at live stream 10:30 a.m. Eastern and 10:30 p.m. here in the Philippines. See you then. Hope you guys are green. Peace and God bless.